Hello and welcome to episode something 4 of A to Z of Gameboy. Wow, I totally forgot again. Here on Super Retroid. Today we are looking at this lovely game about pinball. On the Game Boy, of course, and probably the most well-known pinball game on the Game Boy is that alligator something or other. Is it called? Ooh, what's that? Some sort of target? Oh, no, not a clue. Alligator Revenge of the Gators, something like that. Is it called? I have no idea. Anyway, that one is probably the most well-known, and that game is brilliant. That game looks properly good. This game looks a little bit amateur. I don't really know anything about it apart. This is the first time I've ever played it. But I do quite like pinball games. They're a good way of wasting, 5 or 10 minutes here or there. Of course, it's nothing like real pinball. I don't even really know the controls on this. Normally you get like a button which shakes up the table, but on this the D-pad flicks the left bumper and the A or B button flicks the right bumper. I've only used the A button. I don't know what the B button does, but maybe that flicks the table around. I don't know. I don't really care. I'm not going to play it like that. I'm just having a bash on it. Having a bash. So yeah, this game, in Revenge of the Gator or whatever the crap that game is called, depending on where you flick it off the bumpers, it can go into some of the holes or it can go into some of the tracks and get bonuses and stuff. And with that game, it's sort of like you can do it. If you hit it at a certain point, you know it's going to go somewhere. With this, it doesn't feel quite as good as that. It feels a bit random at times, but it's still quite a lot of fun. I mean, some of the games I've been playing recently, I mean, we're only at A in we're only at the numbers stage in most of them. We're onto the A's on the NES, so hopefully we'll start getting into some good games on there. On this, however, I think it's going to be a while before we hit a classic. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Alleyway. Oh, that'd be a good one. That's a good game. Obviously, it's a rip-off of, is it Arkanoid it's called, or something before that? I'm not really entirely sure. But that's quite a class game, and that's got Super Mario in it, so job done. But yeah, pinball's fun. I like pinball games. There's one on the Dreamcast. I've forgotten what that was called. God, I ain't got a clue. Anyway, I think there's a pinball game coming up on the A to Z of Genesis. I haven't played it yet. I'll probably be doing that video, I think, in the next couple of days. I'm not sure what it was called. But yeah, I think that's a pinball game. Oh, I don't bloody know. I'm talking bollocks again. However, on the did I say Dreamcast? No, I meant to say Genesis. Don't know. I lost my train of thought. Also, coming up on the Genesis is I don't normally play the Japanese games as I don't think they're really relevant. To Japanese people, obviously they're very relevant, but it's very unlikely that I'll have any idea what's going on because I don't speak Japanese. So there's not really any point doing them, and I don't want to play them. But there is one that's coming up called Harimandara or something, and that game is awesome. And to be fair, with a lot of Japanese games, you don't need to know Japanese. I mean, I've got a copy of Giantogram on the Dreamcast, which is in Japanese because it wasn't ever released anywhere outside of Japan, and that game is so much fun. You sort of have to guess what the menus are, but after a while, you can get to grips with it, and work out what it does. So it's not impossible to play those games. Some of the more in-depth ones. There's a few like love story games, especially on the Dreamcast. I can't remember what it's called. I've got a copy of it. I've never played it because it's going to be impossible, which is a shame. I don't really know why I bought it. I'm a bit of a moron, to be honest. Yeah. So this is 3D something pinball. Watch pinball. Thrill Ride, blah-de-blah, to give it its full title. The Game Boy it's a bit of nostalgia, I think. You can't really comment on the graphics on these games because they're all a muchness, to be honest. Although, graphics do not make a good game. And this is probably more fun than anything I've played so far on the Genesis. I mean, how many videos have I released on that? I think it's 2, and those are, well, it'll probably be 3 by the time this comes out. And all those games have sucked so far. Especially that stupid thing about the submarine. What a pathetic game that was. That pissed me off. But this is nice, bright colours. It's it's a bit of fun. I mean, there's not really any strategy to it. It's a good. I could waste a few afternoons just sat playing this quite happily. I mean, you don't have to have, you know, the best engine and the best graphics and the best sound or the best music or the best anything. As long as it's fun and you're enjoying yourself, it doesn't really matter. And sometimes some of the crap games, some of those really cheap games that you buy, they're the most fun. And the multi-million-pound games that have taken 10 years to do it, you just think, oh, it's a bit stale. So yeah, anyway, I did, however, get a copy of Terminator Salvation lately. I might do a review on that. It's quite a recent game. It's on the 360, so it's more recent than any of my videos so far. I don't know. It's a game I've never played. My radar knows that it's not going to be incredibly good, but I really want to play a game that I've never played before. Anyway, I'm talking rubbish. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in next time for something equally rubbish.